So good morning to all students.
Good morning, ma'am.
Morning. So this is our fourth lecture on numerical analysis. So in the last lecture, we have discussed about the algorithm and its stability also. Means little bit we have discussed. So what was it? Yeah, if I write an algorithm for any problem, suppose if I have a function f of x is equal to cos x by 2 plus e raised to power 2x. So you have to write each and every step to write the algorithm for this problem. So suppose I want to calculate this expression at x is equal to any particular value, suppose it is p. So for the first step, I will write algorithm now. So in the first step, I have to take x here. So that will be my first step. So first step, I will take x is equal to p. And in the next step, I will calculate this expression. First of all, suppose I'm taking cos x by 2. So x by 2, I will take in the second step. So it will be x naught by 2. Means I am taking x naught as a x here. Now in the second step, I will take its half. So now in the next step, I will take cos of x1. Then in the next step, I will take 2x. So each and every step I have to write it 2x naught. Then I will take x4. It will gives you e raised to power x3. So then in the next step, I will take plus of these two, means x2 and x4. So x2 plus x4. So this way you will write the algorithm for any mathematical problem. Okay. So now if you want to find its stability, means this is the algorithm. This is the algorithm. And if you want to check its stability, so then there is a one criteria it should follow. If you are doing means that what was that criteria? If you are taking an f of x and if you are taking a small change in the output, it should produces a small change in the output. Then it will be the stable conditions. Mean if each step this criteria is fulfilled, then it will be stability. Otherwise it will be unstable. Means if any one of these step, if you fail to able to satisfy this criteria, then the full algorithm will be unstable. So now to check the stability and instability and to check that criteria, we have one term here, that is a condition number. So the condition number we have already discussed, that the condition number is usually denoted by kappa, or you can write k also. So but it is relative change in the output. So divide by relative change in the input. In the input. So basically we are taking ratio of this. So that will be it is similar to say that criteria only, that if you are taking small change in the input, if it produces a small change in the output, then we can say its ratio should be near about to 1 or less than 1 or near about to 1, you can say. So then if it is near about to 1, then we will say the condition number is if it is less than 1, means near about to 1, then we will say that algorithm will be stable, otherwise it will be unstable. So here I can write the condition number. Now here it is not equal to 1. We want it should be equal to 1 or less than 1. So the condition number of a problem, means of any expression, is less than or equal to 1, or near to 1 or near to 1, then that problem is well conditioned. Means or you can say if the algorithm associated with that problem will be stable, then problem will be well conditioned. So, and if the condition number is far greater than 1, means that is far away from 1, then the problem will be is ill conditioned. So again, how to find this ratio? Actually, we will change this condition number into the mathematical problem now. So what I do, I am taking a mathematical problem that is f of x, means I'm taking any expression here that is general expression f of x. So f of x, I will treat as a output and x as an input. So the kappa will be written as, if I'm taking small change, suppose I'm taking x, I'm changing x to x star, and then f of x will change to f of x star. So that will be positive or negative change. So now if I write relative change means relative error in the output. So output is f of x here. So it will be f of x minus f of x star, that is a relative error formula, divide by x, sorry, f of x, the original value. This is the relative change in the output, and relative change in the input will be given by x minus x star divided by x. So if you solve this, it will be f of x minus f of x star divided by x minus x star. So I divide the terms here. So x will come in the numerator and f of x will be in the denominator. So now if you look into this expression, it is f of x minus f of x star divided by x minus x star. So what it is, if I write the derivative here, if I take x star to x, f of x minus f of x star, if I take the limit that x star is tending to x,
मैम
yes,
मैम ये x star और f(x) star क्या है?
f of x is our original value, and if I am changing this, means if I'm taking little bit change in x to x star, means if I am changing in the output, my original value was x, so I'm changing it to x star. It can be x plus delta x, it can be x minus delta x also, means I'm changing x to x star here.
Okay, ma'am.
That is a change in the input, and according corresponding change will come in the output also. So f of x is our original value, f of star is a changed value. Okay, so now if I take this f of x minus f of x star divided by x minus x star and taking the limit x star to x here, so that will give you the derivative at x. Okay, so here if I'm not taking the limit here, that will give you the approximate value of f dash x. So this expression will be f dash x, means that is a approximate value of f dash x, x by f of x. So the condition number is given by x into f dash x, means its derivative of f of x divided by f of x. So if you want to find the condition number of any problem at any particular value of x, then you can find the condition number by this formula. So if it is less than 1 or near about to 1, then the problem will be well conditioned, otherwise it will be ill conditioned. So this is simple. If you remember this formula, then it is simple to find the condition number now. So you should remember this formula: x into derivative, first derivative of f of x divide by the function. So let us take one example here. Find the condition number of f of x is equal to 10 by 1 minus x square. So this is the function I'm taking. So what is the condition number for this function? No particular value is given here. So we will look this function at all the values of x. So the condition number is given by x into f dash x by f of x. Then you take modulus also. Don't forget to put mod here. So it is not a bracket, it is a modulus here. So x into f dash x means that will be, if I find its derivative, it is 10 into minus 1 divided by 1 minus x square into 2x minus 2x. So that will become 20x divided by 1 minus x square divided by 10 by 1 minus x square. Okay. This is in the denominator actually. So now it will give you 20x 20x square divided by 1 minus x square by 10. So you will get 2x square by 1 minus x square. So now here you can see what is the condition number, that it is 2x square by 1 minus x square. If any particular value is given to you, then you can find the condition number. So according to that value, you can find the well conditioned and ill conditioned problem for this function. Now here you can see, if I'm looking the condition number for any value of x, so here you can see it will be far greater than 1 when you take x near to 1. Near to 1 or minus 1 means if I'm taking 1 or minus 1 here, so that will be infinite in number. So condition number will be very large in this case. So in this case, the problem will be ill condition if you take x is near about to 1. Actually, function is not defined at this value. So this way you can find the any condition number by using this formula. So let us move on to the one question. So that how to check the stability and instability of an algorithm that is associated with any problem. So let us take one example. Let's write an algorithm to calculate the expression f of x is equal to root x plus 1 minus root x when x is quite large. Means this is the mathematical expression. You have to write the algorithm for this and you have to find the value of this function at when x is quite large. Means but no particular value is given. You have to write the algorithm for any quite large number. By considering the condition number of the sub problem of evaluating the function, is you have to find the condition number at each step of the algorithm. Okay, show that such a function evaluation is not stable. So that algorithm you will create, that will not be stable, that you have to show. Then suggest a modification which makes it stable. So first I will write the algorithm. So what is the algorithm for this function? First of all, I'm taking x naught, means I have to take any large number. So here I can take any 10,000 I can take, or I can take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Means I'm taking 12,345. This is quite large number. You can take 1,000 also.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, to calculate this expression and x is quite large, why can't I just find the limit by rationalizing?
That is another thing. But with this given function, you have to find the write the algorithm, and you have to calculate the expression at the given number. But that is another thing, that you have to make it stable by taking a rationalizing. Because I am here we will show that, we will see that this is a subtraction of two nearly equal numbers actually. So that's why we are getting a instability here.
Okay.
That will be our next step to make it stable.
Okay.
Yes. So x is 1 2 3 4 5. So x1, this second step will be if you calculate this expression, that will be x naught plus 1. Then x2 will be obviously root of x1. Then in the next step, root x naught. Then in the last step, you have to take x2 minus x3. So now this I can write it as a f naught of x, means this is a function, means I'm not saying this is a function, this is a function. X is a function here. So this is another function of x naught. At each step you are getting a function. This is another function of x1. This is another function of x naught, which variable you are taking, that will be the function variable here. So that you can write it as either the function of x2 or function of x3. So because it contains two variables, so you can write either x2 function or x3 function. So if you are writing x2 as a variable, then x3 will be treated as a constant. And if you are taking x3 as a variable, then x2 will be treated as a constant. So now at each step you find the condition number. So let us find the condition number of f naught of x. First I'm taking f naught of x, that is x only. So condition number is given by x, because x is a variable here. So we have to take the derivative with respect to x only, f naught of x and its mode. So now x into derivative is 1, because function is x only, and divide by x. So this is a 1. So 1 is acceptable. So in the first step, the algorithm is stable, means up to the first step. So next step, condition number of f1 of x naught, that is x naught plus 1. So the condition number is, because x naught is a variable, so you have to multiply it by x naught, derivative with respect to x naught, and the function. So then it will be x naught into 1 divided by x naught plus 1. So for any value of x naught, if you are taking x naught is quite large, then it will be less than 1 always. Because in the numerator you have x naught, and in the denominator you have plus 1 to the numerator term. So the condition number of f2 of x1. So that is root of x1. So the condition number will be x1 is a variable, and derivative with respect to x1 divided by f2 of x1. So x1, its derivative is 1 by 2 root x1 divided by root x1. So that will gives you x1 by 2x1. So that is 1 by 2, which is again less than 1. So similarly, you can find the condition number at this step also, because only variable is changed, otherwise function will be same. So if you find the condition number at the next step, means f3 at x naught. So that is root x naught only. The condition number will be 1 by 2 only. So it is also 1 by less than 1. So now find the condition number at the last step. Up to this step, it is stable. So check at the last step. You can take either the function of x2 or x3. So if I take x2, so then it will be x2 minus x3. So this was the function x2 minus x3. So now find the condition number. X2 is a variable, so you multiply it by x2, then derivative with respect to x2 divide by f4 x2. So now take x2, derivative is 1 because x3 will be treated as a constant here, into 1 divided by x2 minus x3. So now here you have to find the condition number. So what is the condition number in this case? X2 by x2 minus x3. So if you find the value of x2, suppose I am finding the x2 and x3, because x is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, means x naught is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then what will be your x naught plus 1? It will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. If you add 1 to this. So now taking square root of this 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. That will gives you x2. So let us find this value. A root of 1, 2, 3, 6. 3, 4, 6. So it is 111.1126. I am rounded it off up to 4 decimal. Okay. So in the next step, you have to find x naught root, means root of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it will be 111.1081. Okay. So now x2 is this, x3 is this. So let us put this value here. So x2 is x2 1126. So it is 111.1126 minus 111.1081. 1081. So find the condition number in this case. Now you have particular values.
Quite large.
Quite large, yeah. So it will be greater than equal to 1, means far away from 1. So in this case, you are getting instability here. Means in the last step, you are getting instability. So this algorithm is not stable, you can say. So we have shown that this function evaluation is not, this given expression is not stable. Means this function evaluation is not stable. So now suggest a modification to make it stable. So obviously, if you have an under root term here, under root in the expression, you always go with the rationalizing. So by taking the rationalizing, you will get the stability. Actually, you got the instability because of the loss of significance. Because here you can see 111.1126, again 111.1081. So you are doing the subtraction of two nearly equal numbers here. So that's why you got the loss of significance. That's why you got the instability here. So now the algorithm is unstable. So let us do its modification. To make it stable. We take f of x again. Now we do the rationalizing. X plus 1 minus root x.
हम एक बार पीछे करना.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So next we take root x plus 1 plus root x. So it will give you x plus 1 minus x divided by root x plus 1 plus root x. So it will be 1 by root x plus 1 plus root x. So now it is the modification. So if you write the algorithm again, means if I'm writing the algorithm for this function, actually you have to calculate this expression again, means x at quite, means this expression at very large number. So again, x, if you take the same algorithm, you have to take x here. Then in the next step, you have to add 1 to the number. Means this expression you have to find out up to this step. And again, you have to find root of x also. Means this step you have to do. Means these 4 steps you have to do in the new expression also. So now if I write the x4 again, means that x3 up to x3 step, that will be same. If I'm writing x4 step, so there you will get x2 plus x3. You can write same steps again also. I'm writing a new step only. X4 will be x2 plus x3. Then in the 5th step, you have to take its reciprocal. That will be x4. So now then it will be the function of x2. You can write another function also, g1 and g2 x4. So now find the condition number here. Condition number of g1 x2. It will be x2 plus x3. So x2 is a variable here and g1 derivative and divide by g1 x2. So derivative will be 1 by x2 plus x3. So x3 is a positive quantity here. And if you find the condition number for this case, it will be less than 1. Means near about to 1 or less than 1. So this is the stability now up to this step. So now find the condition number of g2 x4. So it is 1 by x4. That is x4 is a variable minus 1 by x4 square divide by 1 by x4. So that will be 1. So from here you can see you got the stability because you are adding the two nearly equal numbers here, not subtracting. Okay, so this way you can get the stability of an algorithm also.
ये पता कैसे चलेगा कि लाइक इसको स्टेबल बनाने के लिए एल्गोरिथम के लिए हमें वो करना पड़ेगा rationalization?
If there is a under root in the expression, then you have to means only aim is to find the subtraction of two nearly equal number. You have to remove that only. Means like in this negative sign, it is a negative sign. We know you have to make it positive by taking a rationalizing. So that will depend on the function actually. So that will come for by practice. Actually, if I take another example, suppose. Let us take this example. Write an algorithm to calculate the expression e raised to power x minus cos x when x is near to 0. Rewrite it to stable. Means here you can see there is again a subtraction of two nearly equal number, because if x is near to 0, if x is equal to 0, both are 1. But if x is near to 0, both will be near to 1. Means again you are getting a subtraction of two nearly equal number. You will get the instability in this case if you write its algorithm. But here you cannot do rationalizing. So there will be another technique you have to do to remove the subtraction of two nearly equal numbers. So first, if I write the algorithm, then you can think about it, how to do it, how to remove the loss of significance. Suppose I'm writing x naught, x, if I'm taking 0.001, suppose, means x is near to 0, you can take 0.1, 0.01, any number you can take. X1, in the next step, I will calculate e raised to power x naught. Then in the second step, I will write cos x naught. Then in the next step, I will write x1 minus x2. So if I write the condition number for this, if I write this as f naught of x, this will be either f of x1 or f of x2. So condition number of f naught of x will be x only, means that will be 1 that you have already calculated. So condition number is 1 in this case. So now if I find the condition number for f1 at x naught, it is e raised to power x naught. So what it is, condition number is x naught is a variable, derivative will be e raised to power x naught and divide by its function. So it is x naught. So x naught is always near to 1. So that will be near to 1. You can write. For this particular value also, for any other value also, that will be near to 1. Near to 0 means that less than 1 you are getting. Or I can write less than 1. So now find the condition number of f2 of x naught. So that is cos x naught. So the condition number will be x naught is a variable, f2 x naught derivative divided by f2 x naught. So what is the condition number in this case? It will be x naught. It will be negative sign, sin x naught divided by cos x naught. So what is the condition number? If you take any number near to 0, if I put this particular value even, if 0.001, that will be less than 1 or near about to 1. You can find this condition number. So now if you look into the last step, that will be again, you will get x1 if I am taking this condition number for this function. So the condition number of f3x1. So it is x1 minus x2. So it will be x1 is multiplied f3x1 divided by f3x1. So x1 into 1 by x1 minus x2. So again, you can see these are the two subtraction of two nearly equal number. If you find its value, that will be larger than 1. So here you will get the instability. This algorithm is not stable. So rewrite it to be stable. So how to rewrite this expression?
Ma'am, we can use series.
You can open the series. Yes, this is the only thing we can do. So f of x, to make it stable, f of x will be e raised to power x minus cos x. So by this, you will get rid of this negative sign. Means if I'm taking 1 plus x square by 2 factorial, x cube by 3 factorial, and so on up to then 1 minus x square by 2 factorial, x4 by 4 factorial, and so on up to. So here you will get 1 will cancel with 1 x. Then this will be positive x square, x3 by 3 factorial, x4 will get cancelled, then x5 by 5 factorial. Then again you will get the positive sign x6 twice of x6 by 6 factorial. So this way you will get the terms with the positive sign here. So here you will get the stability. If you calculate the expression even at very near to 0 number, then you will get the stable condition. So no need to write its algorithm again. So you can leave its expression here also. Or you can use in nested form if you want to. Otherwise, you can leave it here also. So now it is stable. Okay, so this way you can find the algorithm stability or instability. Any doubt in this stability topic?
Ma'am, like
Hmm.
the original question was tending 1 minus tending 1. So ma'am, that is determinate form or indeterminate form?
Which one?
Like e raised to power x minus cos x when x is near to 0. So ma'am, this is like, if we see according to limits, this is like number is tending 1 minus tending 1. That is both the numbers are tending towards 1.
Yes.
So ma'am, that is determinate or indeterminate?
Not determinant form, because it is not an indeterminate form, no?
So ma'am, why we made this table? Like,
Because
like
you are getting, suppose I am taking here, it is, suppose I am taking a number near about to 0. Suppose it is 0.01, and it contains one significant digit, suppose. And if I'm taking again 0.002, suppose, or I can write this also. This, now if you find the number, means any e raised to power 0.01 here, and this is also 0.002, but in the output you will get the loss of significance here. So
Okay.
you're subtracting two nearly equal numbers here.
Okay.
So that's why you have to remove this subtraction only, nothing else.
Okay.
Yes, nothing to do with the limits here, because we are not taking limit here. So this completes the chapter first here. In this, we have discussed the error analysis that we will use in the subsequent chapters that we have done. So basic things we have done in floating point representation, that you all know. And second basic thing we have done rounding and chopping. Here in the first chapter, we have not done any numerical technique to find any problem here, but we have done basic thing that we will use in the subsequent chapters. So absolute error and relative error, this we have done. And next we have done the significant digits. Then we have done loss of significance. Then we have done stability. Stability fund. These topics we have done in this chapter. Okay, so next we'll move on the next chapter. Solution of root finding problem. Actually, now onwards we will look into the numerical techniques also. Various techniques you will find out that with that technique you will get the solution of the mathematical problems or numerical problems, you can say. So solution of root finding problem, as from the name you can see, you are finding the root of any non-linear equation here. So suppose you have a function. Suppose I'm taking one normal function x minus 2, suppose x minus 2 equal to 0. So this is a, yes.
मैम ये नेक्स्ट लेक्चर में करेंगे, हम टाइम भी होने वाला है.
10 minutes पढ़े हैं बेटा.
उसकी प्रैक्टिस कर लेंगे ना चैप्टर 1 की आराम से.
नहीं, जस्ट लिटिल बिट इंट्रोडक्शन दे रही हूँ इस चैप्टर का.
मैम प्लीज.
बेटा 10 मिनट्स पढ़े हैं अभी. 10 मिनट्स तो बहुत होते हैं.
क्लॉक पे कर रहे हैं क्लास में.
हम्म,
क्वेश्चन ही प्रैक्टिस करवा दो.
इसके क्वेश्चंस करवा दो.
क्वेश्चन तो करवा दिए, जैसे लाइक इन दिस चैप्टर फ्लोटिंग पॉइंट रिप्रेजेंटेशन में कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं है एट सच. राउंडिंग एंड चॉपिंग you will get the formula for the rounding and chopping, that how to do rounding and chopping. Absolute error, you know, if you have a exact number and approximate number, you can find the absolute error and relative error also. Significant is it just a definition here. In the loss of significance, you will get two types of questions, that nested, and second one is quadratic equation roots. Means how to get the rows of significances. We have used two techniques in this. An algorithm here, you will get the algorithm by using the algorithm to find the stability of this, or this is only one way, that by finding the condition number also. And another we have done in the rounding and chopping, that that maximum error bound is given to you. Bound is given to you, and then you have to find that then find the interval for f full of x. So these questions we have done. Actually, that question will become in this first chapter. Nothing else. So actually, this is the exercise you have to do in this. Means in the first question, you have to find the condition number for the function f of x is equal to this. Varinder, don't do it, please. So in the first question, you have to find the condition number only at this particular point. And in the second question, you have to find the stability because its topic was stability. So I have given you 2 questions for the stability. So this is the same thing we have done in the question. And this is another question in which we have taken log of x plus 1 minus log of x. You have to write its algorithm and find the condition number, and you have to show it will become unstable. Then you have to suggest the modification also. Can you give me any modification? Because if you are taking x using 6-digit rounding arithmetic, it means if you are taking a large value of x, then you will get the loss of significance here. But if then in that case you will get the instability. But now can you give me one modification to make it stable? How to do it?
Ma'am, we can use log a minus log b is equal to log of a by.
Yes, very good. So you can use the log properties x plus 1 by x. So that have removed the negative part, is subtraction of 2 nearly equal number is removed. So this will work. So this is the modification, and if you again write its algorithm, so that will gives you the stable condition. So this is for the rationalizing you can do. So let us take one little bit introduction for this root finding problem. That in the root finding problem, actually we will use the various techniques here to find the root of any non-linear equation. But I am taking a linear equation. So if I am taking a linear equation, it is simple to find the root of this type of equation, x is equal to 2. So if I am taking non-linear, just I am taking 1 degree more, means quadratic equation I'm taking 2x plus 3 is equal to 0. So again, it is easy to find the roots of this type of a problem by using analytic method, that is x is equal to minus b plus minus b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. So this is the simple way to find the roots of this quadratic equation. But now if you have cubic equation, suppose cubic equation means if you have a3, so how to find the root of this type of a cubic equation? So you have to do hit and trial. You have to find the one root by hit and trial, and then divide that linear factor with this cubic equation. You will get the quadratic equation again. Then again you will use this analytic formula. Then you will get the 3 roots for this cubic equation. So similar method for the 4th degree equation, 5th degree equation, and 6th degree equations also. Means there is no particular any formula, any analytic formula which will gives you the roots for the higher degree equations. Or if you have transcendental equation, suppose, means which involves trigonometric function, exponential function, logarithmic function, there is no criteria, there is no any method to find the root of that type of a problem. Suppose you have cos x minus 2 e raised to power x plus sin x is equal to 0. So how to find the root of these type of a problem? So that's why you don't have any numerical, any analytic method to solve these type of a problem. Analytic method which will gives you the exact solution for this type of a problem. But that's why we have a numerical analysis. So we will use the numerical techniques here. Numerical techniques to solve these type of problems. So let us use these techniques to find the solution of such problems. But here, this is the benefit that at least you have a techniques to find the roots of such type of problems, but there are disadvantages also, that you will get the approximate solution, not an exact solution for this problem. Suppose x is equal to 2 is a solution for this type of a problem. Suppose I'm taking this transcendental equation. So its exact solution is, suppose its exact solution is 1.89. Suppose it is. Okay. But by using the numerical techniques, I may get 1.75, suppose. So that is also acceptable. At least you are getting a near about to the exact number. So that will, I will be very happy, you will be very happy if you are getting the approximation to the exact root, even if you are if you are dealing with the insolvable problem. So that is a benefit also, that is the disadvantage also. Means sometimes you will get the worst approximation, sometimes you will get the good approximation also. That will depending on the question or technique, numerical techniques as well. So in this chapter, we will discuss, we will find out the roots of nonlinear equations and transcendental equation. And we will use these methods, means bisection method, fixed point iteration, Newton method, secant method, to find the problems of f of x is equal to 0. So this is an easy method actually. This is also easy, Newton method. This is also easy method. This is average actually. It is not difficult, but little bit tougher than this, these three methods. So actually these are formula based methods. You have, if you know the procedure, then you can do it easily. There is nothing difficult in these problems. So actually these are all iterative methods. Iterative methods. You know what do you mean by iterative methods? In iterative method, you will get the iterations like. So suppose I'm using any of these methods on this function. So then I will, suppose I start with x naught. I am starting with the initial guess. I am taking any initial guess here. Then I apply this formula, any method to this equation. Then I will get x1. Means that is a approximation to the exact root. But if it is not exact, if it is not a good approximation, then I will again use this method to this problem. Then I will get another root that is also approximation to x1. Again, I am applying the formula, then I will get x3. Again, I am applying the formula, then I will get x4. So this way you are getting the approximation of the roots. And this is a sequence you are getting. And that sequence, if you are getting a sequence, that will converge to your exact root. You know the convergence of a sequence that you have already studied in first year, that you will get the sequence here, sequence of the approximation roots that will approximate to the exact number, exact root. Okay. If okay, time is over. Let us stop it here only. So you do practice for these questions. Okay, thank
मैम
you.
ये आप अपलोड करते हैं ना?
What?
मैम ये आप अपलोड करते हैं ना ड्राइव?
Yes, sure.